Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I'm a master manifester. I'm a little weird too, but I'm okay with that. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way because guess what? I'm a bit of a woo woo, flower child, hippie, bohemian, and even I had to put some structure into my amazing creative and artistic thoughts, right? Every artist needs a little bit of a painter inside of them. That's just facts. So, nonetheless, what I'm discussing today is the fact that, and I know you're a master manifester too because you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic the Practical Way because there are a lot of practicalities to manifesting the lives that we choose, whether we like it or not. What I'm discussing today is fake love vacillates. I think that people really just don't understand this. And I'm going to give you some examples of this because sometimes when we share this information and we talk and we just start, going off, you're like, oh, this wisdom, right? Because wisdom is action. Wisdom is research. Wisdom is trial and error. I've learned these things in the world. And this is what I know about people. This is what I know about environments. Now, you can take it or leave it, but this has proven true for me, right? And so fake love vacillates. One day it's on, one day it's off. One day it's hot, one day it's cold. When I sense the slightest bit of fake love, I don't even use it as a marker for anything. It's a waste of my time. you know? I've always told people, I've had friendships. My daughter was asking me the other day, we were discussing it because we have a lot of time to talk about a lot of things these days. Mm. Anyway, we were discussing. And then when you raise intelligent children, by the time they're 15 and 16-year old, you have great conversations with them. They bring you to the next level of seeing things that you didn't even see, right? They sharpen you. They give you things that you didn't even know was available because you just have you have the flaw of not being new and not having a new view, right? That's everybody. I wish parents would have known back when I was growing up that it was okay to not be as great as your children. That's the goal. I think that I love the fact that my generation and people that have come after are perfectly okay with shoving their children in front and saying, please take the baton. I have no desire to be recognized for anything else or to do much more. I'm tired. I've worked hard and I've done so much. Please go do more. That's how I feel about my children. My daughters both sent me screenshots of their current grades right at midterms. We both have straight A's. And mind you, they're in international baccalaureate courses, honors courses. They all have straight A's. And I told them, I was like, this is the beauty of being a parent because I've done so much academically. And I always wonder about my children and whether or not that's going to allow them the space to make their own mark, right? Well, one thing is for sure, I raggedied and thugged my way through the academic life because I was a first generation college student. And so for them, they're not going to have any of that. And I said, I'll be both pumpkins. I've never had straight A's a day in my life, ever. I've never had straight A's. And so it's such a beautiful thing to see that there are so many frontiers that they are creating their own path in. That's something that I haven't even touched because I've never been a straight A academic. I've always been an academic who was scrappy. I've been a scrappy academic. And that's what set me apart, I think, in lots of my circles as far as the academic folks I've been around. Nonetheless, fake love vacillates. Let's not forget the subject. Because when you go into many, many environments and you deal with family and friends, what a lot of people realize is when they initially have what they call a spiritual awakening, when they start to realize that they're much more in charge of their lives than they ever gave themselves credit for, then they start to realize how people were using them for their own means to an end, and they didn't even know they were being used, and they get mad about it, and they were influenced, and you go through that spiritual awakening. That's why people call it the dark night of the soul when you're traveling through that space, because it's like you got to forgive yourself for all of the things that you fell for, or all of the things you weren't prepared for, right? And what I've noticed in those time periods and environments with dealing with people is that when people truly don't have like a sweet spot for you, or like they don't truly celebrate you as a person, they get hot and cold on you very, very much. And you got to remember that. And I've been in places like college environments and where I've had professors that nobody liked. One of the people that I always attribute all of my, computer knowledge, I would say the tinkering part of it, that's definitely my mom and my dad. They love my mom more so love electronics, opening things up, fixing things. She's extremely handy. And my dad is very similar too in the same kind of ways, right? He used to always say, your mama outdo me in so many ways when it related to tinkering with things and electronics and all that kind of stuff. But she was this professor I had in college. She was really the one that showed me the modern technologies. And she was not very likable. And I remember thinking how people would go on and on about how great she was. One day when she was in one of her rare forms where she was extremely giving and sharing and open and happy and smiling with people, no telling what was going on in her life. Um, and then her days where she was completely shut down, she gave the same information and services and all that. She just wasn't about the empty pleasantries. And I would see how quickly people turned on her and said, "Oh, she's this, she's a B word, she's that." And I was like, "Oh, is this the same Laversa that everybody was going on and was saying who was amazing and great and all this kind of thing, like, 5 minutes ago?" And then when she comes in here and doesn't smile for one day, everybody's acting like she's the worst person on earth. And it was really a noticer for me. And then I noticed it with myself early on too. I always tell people when you first go through spiritual awakenings or you first start to see more and ready to create more and you want to detach yourself from everything you've known to try to see who you are and develop the new, the first people that get upset with you are your family members. And I was telling someone, it's not that they're really angry with you. It's more hurt now that I can look back and have retrospection. And it's more the feeling of being left behind or ignored or not valued. And that's the opposite thing of what's happening when you're in a spiritual awakening. You want to value people and respect them in the right way. And in order to do that, you need to step back and figure out who you are so that you can show them love and appreciation in the ways that are authentic to you. And you're just not going along to get along, right? So a lot of people's adoration and like you're so great in this and that, it's based on a role that you play in their lives or like how you make them feel. So a lot of the role that I played in my life plenty of times is being the youngest in the family, right? Being the baby of the family. And I'm a baby of a big family. And so people still introduce me to this day to people that they meet and say my baby sister. And I just think that is the strangest thing, but I don't know their perspective, so I don't get it, right? And so what I've seen over the years is that when I've said yes for things that people really needed, they were very nice and loving and appreciative and going out of their way and asking me about my family life, how my daughters are doing, what's going on with them, how can I help you with your children, what's happening in your space, in your world, and all that kind of stuff. They open up and do that kind of stuff more. But the minute they ask you for something that you don't have the bandwidth for, or they ask you for finances that you're not in a position to hand over, they turn on you or they invite you to something that you can't show up to because you have an anxiety and panic attacks. They don't assume the best of you and that you would do this thing if you could. They turn cold. So that's why I say you got to remember that fake love will vacillate a lot. Whenever I run into people, I don't care who they are, whether it's a sibling, a parent, a friend, whatever. I know when they're being nice to me when I'm doing something that they want me to do. When I'm not performing and doing things that people want me to do, they're not nice to me. And it's just a fact. And it's a shame, but I don't take personal offense to it anymore because I understand that people have to outgrow that mindset themselves and it's nothing that I can do. So I see the, yay, you're great. And I go, oh, thank you. And then the, oh, you're crap. And I go, oh, thank you. Because I know that I can't put real stock into it because I do what I can when I can. And when I can't do something, I just don't do something. And I've long become non apologetic for it. And I think that when you're not apologetic for that sort of mindset, you really get dinged because people want you to grovel for their approval to some degree, even when they don't know that's what they're asking of you. So my goal in life is to always just, there's certain people, I just give people the benefit of the doubt. I ask you something and you see you can't do it, it's all good. Because guess what? The universe got my back anyway. The universe got me anyway. I don't even depend on mere mortals for most of the things that I need in life because it's not even acceptable and it's not even humble. You're saying that I'm saying that I can do it better than than the creator himself. If I'm saying I have to go do it through these people, he made these people. And if these people need to do something for me, he's going to make these people do this thing for me, whether they like me or not. So I think it's the utmost humility to know that people Vacillate, and it's okay. It's okay. You know, you say no to people one too many times, and you're going to see what you really got. You know what I mean? I don't care what it's for. I don't care how much they like you and they appreciate you and they love you and they care about you. They can put you in a naughty box if they see that you're a person that they can extract something from when they're ready for it. Keep that in mind, man, because the love and the attention and the affections that you want in life, you want it to be solid, right? There's some people that I have where I say yes, and for some things, I say the wrong thing. I might do the wrong thing. I might have the wrong attitude. They don't feel less than me. So they don't get offended by me. You know what I mean? Because think about it. How can anyone that feels like more than you actually be offended by you? So a lot of times people should replace offense by I feel less than you. So what you have to say impacts me that deeply. Or what you feel about me impacts me so deeply. It's more important than what I have to say about myself. And I'll be honest with you, what nobody has to say is more important to me than what I say about myself. Not my children, not my partner, not my mom, not my dad, not my siblings. And it shouldn't be for anybody. Not the friends that I've curated over the years, not the mentors, not the coworkers. Nobody's opinion of me is more important than my opinion of myself. So it's easy for me to walk around in environments and not be offended by pettiness because, well, that's your choice. And my choice is to not be petty. And we'll see where that takes us all, you know? Fake love vacillates. You do a great thing for people one day, they're like, yeah, you're so amazing. Pat on the back. Woo, kudos. You're great. You're wonderful. Oh my God, you're a rock star. What would we do without you? And then you do one thing that's like, oh man, that probably wasn't a good decision. Well, I did try it, so let's try something. Then it's radio silence. Then it's don't look you in the eye. Then it's you don't exist. You got to let people know that they don't run you. I promise you. And it's a beautiful thing when you get to the place where people don't run you. They don't run you emotionally. They don't run you mentally. They sure don't run your money. They don't run your mindset. And their love is optional. It's completely and utterly optional. And if you're giving it to me freely, without strings attached, it's beautiful. I'll take that love and I'll magnify it by 1,000. But if your love is conditional and I can see it, then it's a waste of my time. Because I know the minute I am not the perfect version of myself that you would appreciate or that you need, I'm no longer your friend. And who wants to live in that space? Fake love vacillates. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.